So here we go. California Governor Gavin Newsom doing what liberals won't, bringing Republicans on its podcast. Is it a genuine attempt at bipartisanship or a training ground for 2028 debates? That's what our next guest asked him.
2028, President Vance, 40%?
Probably runs against Governor Newsom. Or Vice President Vance runs against
Vice President Vance.
I mean, I look at some of your other candidates. I mean, the governor, with all due respect, the governor of Illinois as a presidential candidate, give me a break.
I'm not getting in the middle of all this.
You can
Unbelievable.
Say nothing, but I would not be at all shocked to have a Newsom-Vance general election in 28.
Well, we'll see. Fox News contributor, former Speaker of the House Newt Gingrich joins us now. He's got a brand new book out. It's 44th, called Trump's Triumph. We're going to get to it in a second. You went on that podcast. What are your thoughts going in? Were you impressed with what you heard? Because the report card is not good for Gavin Newsom.
Look, I've known Newsom for years. He wrote a brilliant book called Citizenville back when he was mayor of San Francisco. I mean, his biggest problem is California. It's a total disaster. But it's also the biggest state. So if you're talking about Democratic primaries, he's formidable. But I did it in part just for the heck of it. I mean, he's a very smart, very agile guy with a terrible record.
Right, with a terrible record, and he has a chance to correct it in this last year, and he's not doing any of it.
He can't change it. No,
right.
He can't take on Sacramento.
Right. Well, you could say that I'm just going to end and say I'm going to enforce the border. I'm going to crack down on illegal immigration. I'm going to keep men out of women's sports, and then see where it goes.
He wouldn't get out of Sacramento alive if he did that stuff. I mean,
so what? But if he wants to go to Washington, that's what we need. So who do you think is formidable outside Newsom? Kamala Harris, according to the Washington Post, weighs a run for governor. Some Democrats are moving on. Do you think that she could be a legitimate governor?
I think every Republican who can should do all they can to keep her propped up. Because she's a disaster.
She is.
I mean, she represents the Obama-Biden tradition of left-wing incompetence.
So let's talk about your book, Trump's Triumph. You saw it up close and personal. You're a key advisor. There's very few people in politics that he respects more than you. What did you see?
I saw enormous courage. I mean, this whole recent thing about Taco, Trump always caves. It's just nuts. Here's a guy with the courage to run against 16 guys. Here's a guy with the courage to endure the CIA and the FBI with the Russia hoax. He endures 2 impeachment attempts, a rigged election, 2 assassination attempts, 4 efforts to put him in jail. And his critics think that he always caves. My experience is he almost always wins.
It doesn't track. Let's just talk about this. Here's an excerpt from your book about we think best exemplifies the type of message you try to put out. Candidate Trump instinctively knew he had to have a great thing to communicate. He concluded that it was to make America great again. When, as a marketing, it translated into MAGA hats, MAGA T-shirts, MAGA bumper stickers, MAGA signs. Suddenly, a big idea was born. Candidate Trump became the leader of a movement far bigger than himself. You saying he grew into this movement? He realized what he started in the middle of it?
Look, the movement goes all the way back to Goldwater, and people can still go to YouTube and see Reagan's Time for Choosing speech from October of '64. That movement has been growing ever since as people get disgusted with left-wing big government. And Trump comes along. The genius of Trump, in part, is he doesn't put out buttons that say Trump. He doesn't put out hats that say Trump. He identifies with making America great again, which is probably as powerful a term as you can get in the American political system. And the result is, he beats 16 Republicans in order.
Then he just beat a good field again.
Yes.
Nikki Haley, Governor DeSantis.
Well, he beat the second field without even showing up. I mean, by then he had become Trump. I mean, I'll never forget. Clifton and I were at Luther College in Decorah, Iowa. She was being honored for Lifetime Achievement. And we're walking down Main Street. This is in 2019. And there's a store. I'm sorry, it's in 2023. There's a store. It's Trump. It's a local group, not part of any campaign, spontaneous, because Trump has now personified for at least half the country that he is the future. If we're going to have a healthy, safe, prosperous America, it's going to be with Donald Trump.
Do you realize that Joe Biden thought he'd make it a negative, MAGA Republicans, and it just blew up in his face? Now MAGA is embraced. He tried to make it a scarlet letter.
At the risk of showing my age, we did polling in 1983, getting ready for the Reagan reelect. The strongest term in American politics is America, at about 93 or 94%. The second strongest term that year was gunboat diplomacy, which was 1% weaker, but was what people thought of as also as America. So when you take on America, and this is what the left is discovering, you know, when AOC's out here hating America, she's isolating herself from about 85% of the country. And
she doesn't realize that because she gets a big crowd in Idaho. But you know what I love about this? You take your perspective, your knowledge of politics, your love of history, and your knowledge of the president, a historic figure, and it all is in your book, Trump's Triumph. Congratulations, Newt.
Oh, it's great fun.
Book 44 will be a big hit, and I'm sure 47 will be happy.
We'll see.
All right. Thanks, Mr. Speaker.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.